What is going on, everybody? My name is Dakota and welcome back to Dakota's Colognes. Today we're going to be doing a full presentation and full review of Azzaro Wanted Eau de Parfum. This is a new 2023 release from Azzaro. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is what we always like to do. It is going to be showing off the atomizer on this one. The Azzaros are, they're solid atomizers, they're okay. Put two there on the wrist. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for this to dry down a little bit. But as it dries down a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and get into some of the accords of it. This one is not the most wanted. This isn't wanted by night. This is just the regular wanted eau de parfum. This is supposed to be the eau de parfum concentration of the original wanted that was released years ago. This is supposed to be like a darker, earthier version of that because the original wanted had a little citrus to it. It was fresh. It was more of a summertime vibe, something like that. This is, I want to say they're going for more of like a fall, wintertime, darker, deeper, earthier. And that's exactly what they did with this. If that's what they were going for on this, they hit it dead on. But let's get this bottle spinning up. We'll talk about some of the notes. Alrighty, as we got this thing spinning up, I'm gonna go ahead and go over some of these notes for you. As Azzaro is famous for, they don't really release a lot of the notes out to the public. So unfortunately, we have a very short note breakdown on this one. The top note on this is gonna be juniper berry. That juniper berry is what's gonna give you that soft, sweet, subtle oak. It's very smooth. Me personally, I love it when companies use stuff like this as opening notes. It leans so soft and sweet, and what it also does is that it gives it a big change from top opening notes to base notes on the dry down. But as we're drying down in this, we have the middle notes of sage. So what that sage is going to do is let you get a little green. It's going to let you get a little fresh. It's going to kind of absorb some of the base note, and in this case, the base note on this is going to be vetiver. So what that vetiver is going to do is it's going to give you some of that dark, deep, earthy type of smell. So whenever you layer all three of these, you wind up with like a form of fresh, green, earthy, a little woody, not really spicy necessarily like some of the other wanted lines been known for, kind of like a dark, more mature scent, which is still very, very nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get y'all flip back around and we will go over more of the presentation, the performance, and the pricing. One moment. Alrighty, and we are back. Unfortunately, it was not the normal 15-30 minutes I like to do. It is actually about 3 hours later. I had some important stuff come up I had to take care of. But what that did give me the availability to do is go ahead and let this get a full dry down, no freshen up or anything like that. So as this dries down, it gets incredibly, incredibly earthy. It keeps some of that freshness. It keeps a little bit of that green, but it's a light earthy, so I would say it's an airy earth type of smell would probably be the best way that I would be able to describe it. But if you're not into that dark earthy type of smell, this might not be the one for you. Once you get past about that hour range, the juniper berry really falls off. The sage, that fresh sage is still there. I think that's what kind of gives it some of that light freshness, but it also retains a lot of that like kind of like dirtiness to it, that like earthiness that I've mentioned. So now what we're gonna get into is, that's, like I said, it's been about 3 hours, so that's the deep dry down. That's the deep, deep dry down. We were gonna get into the pricing and availability part of this. So pricing wise, full retail at Dillard's, Macy's, Sephora, stuff, places like that, this will run you about 110 to about 115, somewhere in there. Discounters, this one, with it being a 2023 release, I was kind of curious to see if they would have it or not. A handful of them did have it. About 80 to 85 bucks. So not a huge drop off, but how new this fragrance is, normally you can't expect the big drop offs to happen like that. So it'd still save you 25, 30 bucks though. And if you're someone who is into fragrances, if you're someone that loves fragrances and likes collecting as well as wearing different scents, because some people I feel like kind of have a bunch as a collection. Some people kind of have them just because they like having a different scent for everything. My personal taste of having a cabinet full is I like a selection, and I like a selection that goes with spring, summer, winter, and fall. Like I like having a good availability. I like changing up stuff. That's also why I try not to buy the great big bottles. When I bought this one in particular, they didn't have a 50 ml of it, so I got 100. You know, even when I bought, even a fragrance that I love, a 2023 release that I love is actually right there. That is Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Elixir. I only got 75 ml bottle because I can't wear enough. So there is that. But yeah, so the retail on this dude is gonna be about 85 bucks, somewhere in there. Now the performance of this, the performance on this is actually pretty nice. As I said, it's been about 3 hours since I put that initial, and I didn't even put a lot on. I actually only put 2 little spritzes on. And I do have to kind of dig for it a little bit to really kind of get into it, but I would kind of expect that because I may not have even put a full spray on when I first did that. I would say projection is gonna be 1 to 3 feet range, depending on how heavy you spray and where you spray. Sillage is actually pretty decent because for how little I put on, actually I'd help my sister. For how little I put on when I went to my sister's, she could smell it, and that was 2 sprays. That was less than 2 sprays, and she could still smell it. And that was with me walking past her. She knows I'm into fragrances, so that could play a part into it. Maybe she kind of, maybe she kind of sticks a nose up. It's not the most unique fragrance. I don't know that the scent profile itself actually warrants the $110 price tag. I know for $85, I would be more than happy with this. I actually got mine from a discounter's. All in all, I like this fragrance. It's not bad. And I don't know that I touched on it earlier, but those of you wondering for this specific one, because I know I've talked about the batch codes several times before. See if I can't get in there. That way y'all can. And I know I've talked about batch codes before, but the batch code on this one is going to be ABX21E6. So if you're wondering specifically, that is going to be the batch code that goes to this bottle, this particular bottle. And I like, as stated, I like this bottle. I feel like it's not unique enough to warrant a 110 price tag, but it's different enough, and especially if you're a fan of the Azzaro Wanted line, it's definitely different from a lot of the other Azzaro Wanteds. This profile kind of went in a different direction from Most Wanted and Most Wanted by Night. I definitely went in a different direction from those two. But yeah, all in all, I'd give this one an 8 out of 10. I like it enough to where I'm glad I bought it, but I don't love it enough to where if this runs out, I may get a 50 mil instead of 100 mil. But being how I bought mine, discounters and such, the 100 mil was, and that's the thing about discounter sites that you also have to take into consideration. The 100 mils sometimes are going to be the exact same price, and depending on if you get testers or not, they're going to be cheaper than the 50 mils. So there's that as well. So that's your Cologne tip of the day. But yeah, that is going to wrap this one up for today. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this breakdown on it. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for subscribing. Thank you everyone for the feedback. I genuinely appreciate all of it. I'm trying to make this the best that I can. Hopefully y'all like the new setting. Unfortunately, we had to move some stuff around in my house, so now this is where I'm at. And as always, we will see you next time.